Hey guys, welcome to the vlog. Welcome to the vlog. It's your girl Felicia. Thank you so much for stopping by. Listen, while you're here, make sure you like, comment, share it out. Share it out. And on your way out, make sure you subscribe. I would love for you to join the family. I am so excited about this channel and all of the things that we're going to do here together. We're definitely going to do it together. I'm just out here learning new things, having new adventures, and sharing that with you guys, which is really, really exciting. We can't be afraid to try new things. And on this channel, you know, we are reimagining life at any age and at any stage. And at this age, we are learning ourselves more than anything else. Yes, we've learned some lessons. We've learned some things over time that are definitely valuable lessons. But we've learned ourselves too, right? We've learned kind of maybe what we should do and what we shouldn't do. We'll go into more of that. But first and foremost, let me start off by thanking you. I want to thank you guys so much. Actually, I was going to come on here live earlier in the week, but the work week was just so busy that I didn't get a chance to, because I wanted to come on here and thank you all properly, right? I wanted to thank you so much. Thank all of my new subscribers. Thank you so much. You have no idea what it means to me. And I know it's like, you know, I'm not at like 1,000 subscribers or one of these channels that has all of these tens of thousands of people or what have you, but I'm actually enjoying having a channel that I'm growing from the ground up, you know, because I'm learning what resonates with you guys, learning what resonates with me, and I'm able to share that on this channel. So I just want to say thank you to all of my new subscribers. It means the world to me. And again, you know, you're like, well, girl, you're not even at 100 subscribers. No, I'm not even at 100. But there's something about when you change your mindset, when you start looking at things in a totally different way, right? And that's what's so exciting about this channel, right? Because again, we're reimagining life at any age and at any stage. We are living life out loud. What does that mean? It does not mean that we're swinging from the chandeliers and we're yelling at the top of our lungs about what we're doing in our lives. No, it means that we are just actually tapping in with ourselves and figuring out what it is about life that we like, what it is about life that we love, what is it about life that we can share, what is it about life that we can teach and help other people with. Because again, it's not about just keeping all of that goodness to yourself. It's about sharing it with the world. And this particular channel is allowing me to do that. It is allowing me to, again, peel back the layers when it comes to who I am at this age and at this stage in my life, and just redefine everything about not only myself, but how I create as well. So again, thank you so much for all of the new subscribers and just being able to unlock the, like say for instance, the live feature, because you can't really go live on YouTube until you have 50 subscribers. And I was chomping at the bit. Like I literally could not wait until I got to the 50 subscribers so that I could actually just have real conversations with you guys about different things. So again, thank you so much for the new subscribers. Thank you for the viewer count. Like this channel, and I've got another channel. This channel almost has as many views. The viewership is almost as large on this channel as on my motivational channel. So I'm like, you know what? This might be the key. But anyway, you know, enough about that. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And again, like I said, I would have come on here earlier in the week to say thank you, but your girl got a new job. Your girl got a new job that she absolutely loves. Do you hear me? And you can't always say that. People can't always say that they love what they do as their 9-to-5 job. And now I'll say this. My last job, I did love what I did as a profession. But the grind that came with it had me so unhappy. The grind that came with that particular job had me so unhappy. And, maybe I'll do a story time about that, later on at a different date or what have you. It's still a little triggering. I'll just say that. It's not a little triggering. It's a lot triggering, because a lot went down with that. But, I'm still in the profession, I guess you could say. I'm still in the same industry, just a different job, and I really, 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 really love it. So, if I had any advice for any of you out there today, it would be, don't be afraid to try something new. It doesn't matter if you've been on a job 10, 15 years or what have you. If you're not happy, figure out how to do something different. If it's not meeting, if it's not checking the boxes and it's not checking off the things on your list as far as your goals, don't be afraid to pivot. Do not be afraid to pivot. You've got to try new things, So here it is. October going into November. We're in the last quarter of the year. We are really locking in so that we can start the new year off fresh. So as far as I'm concerned, this new job is a new start. It's a chance for a new me. It's a chance for bigger smiles, bigger adventures, being able to still create content in and around what I do for work, which was one of the issues with where I was before. It was so draining. It was so debilitating that I wasn't able to invest in me at all. And that's important. Now, that might sound like, okay, that you're whining or whatever, because society has really trained us. They've done a number on us. Let me just say that. The whole system, the way it's set up, they have done a number on us. What it has put us in a position of feeling like the only thing that we can do, or the only thing that we're good for, is to get up, to grind all day, and to, until we're so tired that all we can do is get ready for the next day and do it again. There really isn't any room in there. There's no room embedded into the system that we're in to really pour into your dreams. And so we have to figure out a way to do something different. We have to figure out a way to explore the world in a way that we can fit in our needs, our dreams. And that's not entitlement. That's balance. That's not feeling like, because listen, we've got to work, right? We've got to go to work. We've got to pay our bills. We've got to provide a living for ourselves. That is just the natural order of things. But there should also be some balance. There should also be the ability for you to dream in there. I think we have gotten to the place where, in some cases anyway, because the young folks, they've got it down pat, because they don't give not any cares. I'll just say that. They don't give any cares about, because if it's something that they don't want to do, they are not doing it. Now, that's not what we're doing here, because we're too old and too grown for that. We have to take into consideration what our responsibilities are, take care of those responsibilities, be dutiful citizens and do what it is that we're supposed to do. But what we're not supposed to do is live this lifetime where we have now snuffed out all of our dreams and we're waking up every day and we're not exploring any parts of our creative selves. We were actually meant to create, you know? And I think not only has the system trained us, and I keep saying system because there's, I just don't have the other word for it right now, but not only has society trained us to just, get up, go to work every day, be so tired that we can't explore our dreams, that even the people that are in that cycle or silo with us sometimes can become impediments as well, because we've got to start training people on how to treat us. I think what has happened in some cases, especially people who like to jump in and get things done and make things happen and build dreams and be creative or whatever, because everybody is not necessarily doing that. And a lot of times some people are afraid to do that. When you find a person who is creative, who is a get up and go person, who is a, get things done, I think in some cases we have trained people on draining us. We have trained people how to drain us of all of our energy. And if we're going to train people how to drain us, we need to reverse that and train people on how to treat us well. But it starts with us training ourselves on how to treat ourselves better, because our first ministry is in the home, and we are our first ministry. We don't look at it like that. We want to get out here and doctor on everything else. Yes, we are working, and we do have families and stuff to take care of. We've got all of these different things. And then we're out here trying to donate our time and our energy to other things, when really we've got to find some time to pour into ourselves. And that's not selfish. That's not selfish, because here's the thing. How do you show up well? How do you show up well? How do you show up whole? How do you show up being a benefit and a blessing to other people if you're always tired, you're always drained, you're always filled to capacity, you don't have any bandwidth? Like, how can you actually do that? It's okay. It is totally okay to pull back some. It is totally okay to pull back some. And sadly enough, sometimes we wait too late to do that. Sadly enough, sometimes we wait to pull back, and by the time we do pull back, either people are looking at us like, what? Who is this? You a different person, you switching up. Or we've waited so long to pull back that we have put ourselves and our health in serious detriment. And that's what happened to me on my past job. And again, like I said, I'll do a story time on that later, but it's just still too triggering right now. But when you get to the point where you just pour, give, to the point where you literally put your health on the line, you have put your life at risk, you have literally almost allowed what you give and what you're giving and what you're doing, you have almost gotten to the point where you've allowed it to just about take you out of here. We can't get to that place. We want to be in a place where we are still healthy and thriving, and we still have the energy to not only make change for ourselves, but help create change for other people. Because like I said, again, once you show up, who wants to show up just totally drained with nothing to give at all? No bandwidth, but you can say that your name is on the roll. You're there. You're not helping anybody when you're just a mere skeleton of who you possibly could be. And that's why I say new year, new job, new me, new everything. Because what we're not doing is going into yet another year where the things and the people in our lives are doing nothing but draining us dry. We want to go into this new year living a full life that, again, we're living out loud. We're living a vivid life. We're able to say, hey, I get up every day and every single day is a new adventure, and yeah, you might be doing some of the same things every day, but your outlook about those things that you're doing feels adventurous. That's where we have to get to. And the only way to do that is to start with ourselves. We have to make peeling back the layers of who we are. We have to make that an adventure in itself. Again, whether it's changing up your diet and having fun, finding new ways to cook, or new ways to eat healthy, and not necessarily count calories and all of that, but just new ways to tend to yourself, new ways to contribute to, again, that first ministry, the ministry of you. Because ministry begins at home, and we are our first ministry, and we don't always do that. We are everywhere else doing everything else, as opposed to just focusing on what it is that we need to do for ourselves. It's time for us to mind our own ministry, and stop trying to be the hero and rescue everything and everybody else. So it's just a fun time to be alive, and just to be able to get up every single day, and do it again, and explore this big, beautiful world out here. Is such a blessing. And that's why I'm so excited about this channel, because again, you're like, girl, you don't even have 100 subscribers on this channel. No, I don't. But I am fully anticipating when it's over 100,000, because you know what? I'm excited about the journey. I'm excited about the journey. And that's something that we've got to do. We've got to get excited about our journeys. And life will have you where, you're feeling like it's just so humdrum. Everything is so mundane. It's just the same routine every single day, inside and out. People are just losing the excitement when it comes to living their lives. And that's why you see people walking around, their shoulders are slumped, their posture is bad, their attitude is bad, just everything about their countenance is bad, because they've lost the luster of living. And we've got to regain that. We've got to pull that back. We've got to now pull back the curtain and figure out what exactly is going on behind the curtain that's keeping us from exploring new things. What's keeping us from being adventurous? What's keeping us from, figuring out new ways of doing things? What's keeping us from taking chances? I get it. You're like, okay, listen, I'm in my late 30s, I'm in my early 40s, 50s. I mean, some people are even in their 60s and 70s, and they're like, new? Why would I want to do something new at this age? That's exactly why we should do something new, because guess what? Learning something new, doing something new helps the brain stay young. Doing new things, exploring new ways of living and enjoying your life keeps your brain sharp, and it helps you revitalize just everything about your life, And so I'm just excited about all of the things that we're going to be able to do together. Like I said, if you're just joining, thank you so much for stopping by. While you're here, like, comment. The engagement is definitely important, because just being transparent, this is something new for me. You know, getting on here on YouTube, going live, and just being real transparent, this is something that's new for me as well. So I'm asking you, you know, because a closed mouth don't get fed. So I'm asking you, hit that subscribe button, you know, hit the like, put a comment in there. Let me know what it is that you're doing to explore life in new ways. You know, what is it that you're trying new at this stage in life? How old are you? Everybody doesn't want to show that, tell their age, but I'm in my 50s. You know, I'm in my 50s, and I feel like life is just starting for me, because again, I'm looking at it different. I'm looking at it in a new, totally new way. Totally new way. And you guys have helped me with that. You all have helped me with that. You know, yes, some of you I personally invited here. You accepted the invitation to be a subscriber on this new channel. Others of you, I don't know how you found me and you became subscribers, so thank you. But you all are helping me with this newness, you know. So, you know, I've got to be transparent about that as well. But yeah, this is a new season. Again, new season, new job, new me, new everything. And I would encourage anybody else out there that at this age and at this stage, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to turn the dial. That's an inside joke. Don't be afraid to turn the dial. You know, set that dial on something else. Don't be afraid to set your sights on something new. Don't be afraid to figure out, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that in your 50s or your 60s, all of a sudden you need to take up mountain climbing, you know, or something like that, or parasailing. Speaking of parasailing, me and my girlfriends, we're getting ready to go on a cruise, right? We're getting ready to go to Miami and cruise. And I think one of the features is parasailing or whatever. I don't think I'm going to do that, but there are some other excursions that I am going to do. So again, we can't be afraid to do new things, to try new things, to explore new things, take ourselves out of our comfort zone, reinvent ourselves. We can pivot. We can absolutely pivot at any age and at any stage. And guess what? You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody. When it's time for you to make changes in your life, you'll know it. When it's time for you to make changes to that friend group, you'll know it. When it's time for you to leave that job that is draining every ounce of your creativity, every ounce of your countenance, if you know, if it's draining every ounce of vitality out of you, it's time to pivot, and you'll know. You'll know. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Let's address the fact that a lot of times we know that we should make changes well before we actually do. But sometimes we wait until maybe something catastrophic happens. Sometimes we wait until we get sick, like I did. Like I had a serious health challenge that almost took me out of here. And that was my cue to pivot. I had some things happen in terms of some people that were close to me or who I thought were close to me. Listen, one thing about life, you're going to get some good old learned lessons, some bought lessons. I would rather have the learned lessons than the bought lessons. But hey, you know, I got some of all of that in that last situation. But it's okay. It's okay. Because what does not take you out of here makes you stronger. And that is the absolute truth. Because I feel like I am the strongest that I've ever been. I feel like, you know, I've got the most clarity than I've ever had. You know, am I still figuring some things out? Yes. Yes, absolutely. But that's part of life too. Accepting the fact that every single day is a new page that you turn, but you can be the author of that book. You can be the narrator of your own life. In fact, you are the narrator of your own life, and you decide how these next chapters are going to be written. And all I can say is don't be afraid to pick up that pen. Don't be afraid to pick up that pen and be that author of this new life, really. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to pivot. Don't be afraid of change. Start training people how to treat you. Set boundaries so that you're no longer training people on how to drain you. Because here's the thing. When you don't set boundaries, right? It's kind of like how they say if you're not trying to prevent something, you might as well say you're trying to bring it to you. So if you're not training people on how to treat you well, by default, you're training them on how to drain you and treat you the way you don't want to be treated. So, you know, just in this whole new season of where we're going, and again, we're in, you know, October going into November. This is the last quarter of the year. This is the last big push before we go into 2026. And it's up to us to decide what that looks like. What is 2026 going to look like for you? You know, I'm ready for all the ooey gooey goodness that God has for me. And using my free will to get in the way of it all, those days are over. So, you know, again, waiting too long to make certain changes, which now, let me say this, better late than never, right? Better late than never. And sometimes we don't do things at the right time, but then it's still always on time, which is kind of weird, but it's the truth because everything works for our good. Everything works out for our good. And if you could just make the decision, to do something different, do it in a different way, then hey, whenever you make that decision, it's right on time. It's right on time because now, you know, you're implementing change. So again, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. Thank you for all of the views and all of that. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I plan on living my absolute irresistible 50s from here on out. And I'm just excited that you guys have made the decision to come along this journey with me. Yeah. Things are different. Things are absolutely different, but they're good. They're different, but they're good. And I plan on sharing all of that with you all on this channel, but also sharing those life lessons too. You know, sharing those life lessons. So definitely tap in with me. Let me know kind of where you are in your journey. I would love to hear about it, or what have you. Thank you for joining me on this Chit Chat vlog, because this is a vlogging channel. You know, I do have a motivational channel. It's your girl Felicia. I'll link it in the description here if you want to check out that channel. But thank you for joining me on this Chit Chat vlog. Yeah, it's life is about to be amazing. You know, people look at their 50s and stuff like not necessarily like life is over, but like maybe their youth is over. And that's not true. That's not true. Like I said before, I honestly feel like life is just beginning for me. And I feel like life is just beginning for me because I am beginning to make certain decisions that benefit me. you know, because sometimes we are too loyal and we stay too long in things that are not beneficial for us. We're loyal to other things and situations and institutions, but we're not loyal to ourselves. We're not loyal to our own growth. We're not loyal to our own glow up, our own level up, all of that. And so, I'm just saying, you know, there's just a lot in store for us. We have to look at life like there's a lot in store for us and stop looking at it like life is over, especially when you get to a certain age, or if you feel like you've made, you know, a certain amount of mistakes. You know, we made mistakes along the way. Okay, whatever. You know, look at it like this. Started from the bottom and now we close, right? Started from the bottom, now we close. So we're closer than ever. And actually, when it comes to the things that we want out of life, when it comes to the things that we really want out of life, we're closer to it than we are from it. So thank you so much for being on this journey with me. Again, I just wanted to make sure I came on here and live and said thank you to all of my new subscribers. Share the channel out with your friends, okay? Get them to subscribe. I do want to run the numbers up. Yes, I'm not gonna, you know, lie about that. That would be, you know, I'm not gonna lie about that part. But I will say, I am so grateful for you all who have chose to subscribe and join me on this journey. And let's see where it goes. All right, we are living life out loud, and we are reimagining life at this age and at this stage. So let's have some amazing adventures, all right, together. So don't forget to subscribe on your way out, all right? It's your girl Felicia. I love you guys, and until the next video.